Previously, you plotted the sum of completed pizzas for 1 week. How much do you think our pizza shop is making per day on average? As the first step, we should figure out the number of pizzas made per week. From here, it looks like there are about 3,000 pizzas made by the end of the week. Now, to note this down and to do other calculations, let's open a live script and include a short title and a description. To store our number, we create a variable. Start with typing the variable name and use an equal sign to assign the value to the variable. The equal sign is also called the assignment operator. Your variable names should be descriptive. Valid variable names always start with a letter and only contain letters, numbers, or underscores. To calculate the price of one pizza, we need to figure out the cost of each ingredient, like dough, sauce, cheese, and toppings. When we run these lines of code, we see the corresponding results on the right side, in line with our code. To suppress the output, use semicolons at the end of each line. Now, we see the toppings cost variable in the workspace, but the output doesn't show in the live script. Now that we created all the necessary variables, let's calculate the cost of one pizza. For that, we need to sum up the individual cost of all ingredients. We use the same arithmetic operators for addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, just like the ones you find on a calculator. Let's run this section and... Wait, we forgot to assign the value to a variable. Our result is automatically assigned to the variable called ants, which is short for answer. The value of ants is changed with every calculation that doesn't have an assigned variable. To use the value for a later calculation, make sure to assign it to a variable. Now the result is stored in a variable named pizza cost. When you run the code, all calculations on the right of the equal sign occur before being assigned to a variable. In our shop, each pizza is sold for $15. Let's calculate the total profit by subtracting our cost from the selling price and then multiplying by the number of total pizzas. This number doesn't sound right. Calculations occur using the traditional order of operations. To calculate the subtraction first, we need to group this operation in parentheses. Now this makes sense. We have the total profit for the week, but what is the average per day? Let's get a rough sense by dividing the total profit by 7 and rounding to the nearest dollar amount. How do we incorporate rounding into our calculation? Previously, you used the plot function to visualize data, but there are also functions to perform calculations and even solve more complex math problems. The standard syntax for a MATLAB function is similar to that of a mathematical function. We have a function name and an input variable enclosed in parentheses. We assign the result to an output variable. Like mathematical functions, a function can also have many inputs. Now, going back to our calculation, to find our corresponding MATLAB function, let's search for a function in the documentation that does rounding. Start typing our search term, round. It looks like the result we are looking for is the first. Click to view the documentation page. A documentation page contains 4 main parts. We have the syntax on top, then a description, and examples. At the end of the page, there is a See Also section suggesting similar functions. Let's go to the syntax section to find the best match for our intended use of the function. This syntax looks like a match, and we click the description to make sure. Yes, indeed, it is a match! Now, we will use this function in our live script to round to the nearest dollar. We pass the profit per day variable to the round function and store the output in this variable. When we run our script, it looks like the pizza shop is making about $5,301 a day. Not bad, right? And you're all done! In this video, we created our first variables, did simple calculations, and used the documentation to find useful functions. Now it's time for you to do your calculations using MATLAB.